You shout out Soda TV too?
Show TV shout out.
Okay.
Soda TV.
Soda TV, what up?
Okay.
Soda TV. Shout out. Welcome to Soda TV.
What's your name? Whatever it is.
Soda TV. It's Soda TV. Welcome back to Soda TV. Not having a good day, y'all, but bear with me, man. When I seen the picture of dude allegedly with Money Duke's chain, or it can either be Youngin from the Jets chain, right? Because in reality, we don't truly know which one of their chain that is. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put the question mark in the title. But, you know, I'm sure O-Block knows which one, possibly, because, you know, if both of their chains didn't get took, they would know that way, right? If Youngin and Money Duke's chain didn't both get taken and it was just one of theirs taken, they would know by that. Or if both of their chains did get taken, hey, they may not know, you know what I'm saying? I think the way those chains were done when Vine passed them out is, I heard, or maybe I might have seen on the video, that didn't Vine put the names of they unalived partners, the unalived soldiers on the back of those necklaces? And then if they got, you know what I'm saying, if they all got the same names on the back of their necklaces, you know what I'm saying, you wouldn't know the difference. But if they got different names, or if they have a different, you know what I'm saying, you could put a different anything on the back of you could put, you know, the deceased, and then you could put a 1, you know what I'm saying, or a couple dots or a heart, you know what I'm saying? So only they would know the distinctions. We would have to get that confirmation from O-Block to know exactly whose chain, right? But regardless to that, moving on to what's even more important about this segment today. You know, I was born in the Chicago, right? But I wasn't raised. I was raised in K3, Kankakee, Illinois. But I still have the reality, the harsh reality of the streets, the harsh. I have that aspect, right? I do. And you know what I'm saying, by me being 35 and being out of the streets, you really get you know, when you make it out from that, but man, nothing could have prepared me for this picture that we talking about today. I ain't gonna cap. You know what I'm saying? Chicago down 100 points with that. For real, Chicago, y'all are down 200 points for this one, man. You know what I'm saying? And furthermore, if this guy that we are finna see in this picture did what he is painting the picture that he did, and he wearing the same mask that he did the HIT with, you know what I'm saying? You out of pocket, partner, in my TI voice, TIP voice. You out of pocket, partner. How T.I. be looking when he said, "You out of pocket, partner." Like, for real, man. But we finna get into this segment, man, and take a look at this, and we gonna take a look at a old meaning previous, what they call it, not original, former O-Blockian, you know, gives his, you know, how he feels about Duke and Youngin passing, and it's not a nice one. So yeah, we finna take a look at both of these. Right before we do, I just gotta ask, is you gonna hit that like button? You know, it shows YouTube that this video has what it takes to win, and it puts it out in the algorithm for way more people to see it, you know, and I don't just want 1 or 2, 3 people to see my stuff, right? Share this with whoever you can, when you can, because I know a lot of you work jobs, but I know a lot of you be on Facebook, which is the greatest platform that this video can benefit from. So if you mess with me personally, put this on Facebook. That's for y'all that mess with me personally, you know what I'm saying? If you don't, just, you go keep a ting on the side, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel. I would rather you do it now and get it out of the way, but if you just got to see if I earn it and you want to do it at the end, we can do it like that. But just keep your word as a man or woman, and let me get that at the end. Last but not least, notification bell. Keep you notified on everything I drop on the spot. You know, getting into what y'all came for. You know, here's the picture of your guy that you've been waiting to see live in the flesh. Take a look at him. Take a real good look at him. What I got to say. Either this dude literally did it, or he's being used as a sacrificial lamb. AKA, what is that also known as? You know? Do you know? Do you know what they call it in the streets? Do you know? Sure you don't. Fall guy, right? It's either or something in the middle. But I'm placing my bet on the fall guy. You know, somebody around the neighborhood that the person that did it, or the persons that the people that did it are cool with. You know, he gonna keep his mouth shut for the most part. You know what I'm saying? They probably ain't even tell him who the person that really did it, but they know that he worthy enough to take the chain, taunt them, make their family cry a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And get us this chain right back and get on, man. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I say that is because, like, most of the guys, like I say, I know a lot of people from Chicago that get wild, like the Wild West, worse than the Wild West. And surprisingly, if you know, you find out that most of them are smart, like real smart, real smart. And the ones that aren't smart, they're at least street smart. You know what I'm saying? Meaning they got enough sense to know everything they need to know in the streets, but you ask them to read a page out of Dr. Seuss, you know, you're going to hear some stuttering. You know what I'm saying? A little stutter box. But yeah, man, guess what? Neither one of them are doing in any category. Guess what they're not doing? They're not moving like this. They're not moving like this dude, man. None of them. You won't see it. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say, in Chicago and many other places that have a high unaliving rate and a fascination for unaliving, you know, what they do is they like to they have this thing to where, you know, after they do the, you know, they have a person they give it to, you know, people stop just giving. I would imagine at some point in time when people didn't have the sense enough, they used to give people to pipe, like, and, you know, let them have it or use it or whatever, as long as it ain't on them, the person that did it. AKA, if you look at the was it the G Money case? In they was trying to say in the case that the Blick was swapped out with another group of people in Baton Rouge, and they did a demonstration with it, and it got popped off. Anyway, but but back to what I was saying, people have a thing of, you got a person that you give it to. It was even people set in play in older Ang history and modern day Ang history to take the fall, take the blame for the unaliving if it came down to it. And not in that sense, but see, look, it would be more so, look, I do it, say I'm A and my man ain't B. Look, I did it, but look, as soon as I come back from it, look, you did it, and have a couple people put the word out, and not even maybe put the word out, maybe the closest people to us to play mind games with them. Look, you did it. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna know, right? Because you expect the people that you told that B did it not to say nothing. But in case all else fails, when ninjas gon' run it, you know what I'm saying? They gonna break, they gonna pillow talk to their girl when they think they got a good girl, or think their girl ain't gonna tell it, or it just slips out. It's gonna slip out that B did it, and a lot of times this has worked in it, because when push comes to shove, right, and they make the government may feel like they have evidence on me, when all else fails, everybody that's credible, everybody that's really in the streets, they know that B did it, so it helps in that aspect. If it ain't no real DNA evidence and hard evidence on me, it helps to have a scapegoat. But the scapegoats start getting played out, and they really, it's like a 50-50, right? Because a person is going to say, yeah, I got you, I take that charge for you, I love you, brother. But class in session here, check this out. When that judge tell you that, listen, we know that serial LLER A is manipulating you, using you as a cover-up. You a fall guy. We know this. You know what I'm saying? Even if they ain't got hard evidence. Look, we know he didn't unalive 4 people in the same fashion he did this one in. And he's so heartless that he slices their when he leaves the scene. So they all have a slice in the middle of they you know what I'm saying, they head, right? And they say, and since we know this and we know he manipulating you, if you don't want to give us him, you could just go ahead and take this 85 years at 85%. 85 years, 85%, probably around somewhere around 60 years or something, right? You know what I'm saying? That's another way of saying life, your whole natural life, right? And you got a newborn baby, so 85 at 85% with your newborn, how you feel? You know what I'm saying? Do you just want to say these couple words that he did it, or is you really that tough? See, And that's what, when it boils down to that, a lot of people, you know, and that's just how that go. But make no mistake about it, I'm not gonna lie, I gotta keep this 100. A lot of organizations that are not black, talking about Latino, Mexican, even the original mafia, a lot of those, they fall guys really stick through it. Not gonna cap. They fall guys really do their thing, and they really take that electric chair and life sentence on it like a champ, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we finna get into the what the former Oblakian J Hood, who was putting the boop ops on ops. You know, we heard FBG or STL Flame from 63rd with ducking them. We heard him talk about how J Hood bopped him, you know, and we know J Hood was athletic build when everybody else was scrawny in those times and in these times too. So, you know, he was boop-bopping stuff. He speaks on, you know what I'm saying, the passing of Duke and them. And man, it's a rough one, man. I'm finna roll it and I'll be back when y'all get, well, I'll be here when y'all get back. Roll it.
Condemnation. Because when Christ, it was talking about when Christ came into the world, when he gave us the truth, the righteousness, the goodness of God, he said, and this is the condemnation. This means that this is what leads most men to condemning their own souls, to going to hell. It says light has come into the world. Light is the truth. It says light has come into the world, but man loved darkness rather than the light. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. So if you made it to this part of the video, that means that if I'm speaking this truth of God and you hate the words, or you feel like that I hate you, then that means that you do evil. It says, for everyone that doeth evil hateth the light. Neither does he come to the light, lest all his evil deeds be reproved. Reproved means corrected. So many people that love their sin says that they will never come to God's truth because they love their sin and they don't want to clean themselves up with the word of truth. They don't want to become perfect in God's eyes. They rather live for a temporary glory, a temporary pride, a temporary status in this world. When you see, like everybody else have seen, just like my ex-brothers, my carnal brothers, they're not spiritual brothers. They didn't believe in the Messiah. Neither did they perfect the way he wanted us to live and is calling for us to live. But you're going to go to the same place that they going. And so many people going to say, rest in peace, but there won't be no resting in peace for them. There won't be no resting in peace for them. God said that there is no peace unto the wicked, says the Lord.
Dang, J Hood. Dang. They can't get a tear? A tear? A single tear? I love you and I'll miss you. You'll be missed. Not a RIP. You know, you've been through, you risked your life with these people. If you ain't been on a drill with them, you've been through, of course, you've been through FIGHTS with them, and I guarantee you've been through a little more than that with them, and the only thing you could say is he won't be resting in peace, they won't be resting in peace. Dang, man. Ooh, J Hood, I thought you was just faking it like you ain't mess with them no more, man. It's deeper than that, huh? It's some deep stuff that happened. Like, we understand that you went with your religion and you went with the God's way, but that don't mean that you have to unlove who you loved or not speak on how you loved them. Okay, if you don't love them no more, why not say what you used to have for them and still say rest? But you, dang, J Hood, you did that bad. But some people may agree with J Hood. I don't know, man. Let me know what you feel personally down in the comment section, because I couldn't do that. That ain't me. But again, let me know what you feel. Again, I need that like. If you haven't shared this, I can say you're wrong, but hey, if you haven't subscribed, you really wrong. Ain't gonna bap for real. Notification bell, keep you notified on everything I drop. You know what I'm saying? This is the self-proclaimed #1 celebrity news reporter on YouTube at this time. The Real Soda TV is the channel with your host, your boy Soda. And I'm out.